extra. Even our bonus data doesn't expire. You dey feel am? Dial *111# to activate now. Airtel Tigo. Life is simple.
Welcome to a special edition of your favorite current affairs program on television, The Point of View. This program comes your way on City TV, where we get the right guests, we ask them relevant questions on issues that matter to you. And we have a big fish tonight to talk to. So tonight my guest is a man of twos. He was born a twin. He's the only two-term mayor Accra has had, and he's gunning for a second term as the MP for Ablekuma South. He's in the person of Alfred Okoe Vanderpuije. They call him Chenche.
Yes.
Thank you for welcoming us to your house. Won't hear me? Won't hear me? Bubula.
Hey, Naboche.
Charlie. Good to see you. You're looking well.
Thank you. By the grace of God.
Super. How are you? What are you doing?
Oh, as you know, I'm very well by the grace of God, and I thank God for that. But I've been busy with my work as MP for Ablekuma South, and I love my constituents. I love my constituency. So most of the time I'm busy in my constituency.
But it must be boring for you being an active former mayor, always on the spot, in the middle of things. Yes. Now you're almost in the background. Yes. How are you adjusting to that?
Well, you know, you have to learn to change with the times. And whenever you find yourself, wherever you find yourself in time, you have to do what is always the best. And then when the circumstances change, you have to change with it. And you have to always adopt what is best for you and best for your country. So right now, I'm very happy what my hands finds to do as MP for Ablekuma South. And I'm an active member of parliament and always in my constituency. And I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying meeting my constituents. I'm enjoying meeting the stakeholders of my constituency, the education aspect of it, the fisher folks, the churches, the students, the parents, you know, and the hospitals under this condition of pandemic, what is happening. I mean, you have always to take advantage of the situation. And
how different is the experience of being in the executive? Because as Metropolitan Chief Executive, you are implementing policy.
Yes.
Now you are in Parliament making laws. It must be very different.
Yes, of course. There are, you know, we know of the three arms of government, and none of it is the same. Each complements the other so that our country will be a better country. So yes, I've been within the executive, whereas Chief Executive of Accra Metropolitan Assembly, one of the largest cities in Africa, and the opportunity to implement the policies of government. I worked on the Professor Mills, and then under John Dramani Mahama, both of them as presidents. And it was a privilege and an honor to implement their policies as best as it is, or it was then, for Accra Metropolitan Assembly. And that was a job I took very seriously, and because I love Accra, and the opportunity to do the best for Accra, for me, was the best time when I was mayor, to do the best for the people of Accra. And I took it very seriously.
What do you think is your greatest achievement as mayor of Accra for 2 terms?
Well, I believe that going into the mayorship, my focus so much was on education, because I was a trained teacher.
Okay.
I taught schools. I went to the US. I did a master's and continued to advance studies. And I worked as a principal in the US. I had a lot of exposure and a privilege and an honor to see how we could run modern schools. I came from that to be mayor of Accra. So when I came back to Accra and I saw the shift system, where we were giving only 3 to 4 hours of education to our children, and also thinking of the fact of where I had come from, with all the improvements in education And all these children, regardless of their socio-economic background, were all growing up into a same world with the same opportunities. I said, no, I cannot sit down when I have worked under presidents in the US and I have heard them say, leave no child behind. And I will come to my own country where the children of Accra were being left behind. And I knew then that presidents upon presidents of Ghana have always had a desire to end the shift system in Accra. So my first walk into my first day of school in Accra, I wept. I wept several times. I was so embarrassed with what I saw in the schools, in the building where I went to school in. And my sisters, my siblings, my friends went to school, and I saw them still running shift, but under difficult conditions. I mean, classrooms with 105 children, 120 children, 75 children. Then when it's raining, teachers have to move desks and furniture in the classroom. My brother, I couldn't finish my first day of school visit. I went straight to Professor Mills, and I said, Professor Mills, you said Better Ghana, so please, this is the time to implement Better Ghana in our schools. You know what he said to me? He said, Alfred, that is why you are here. I believe in you. Go and change it. I said, Prof, next year, we will not open school in Accra if we have to open it with a shift system. He said, Alfred, I believe in you. I know you can do it. Then I went to the vice president, then John Dramani Mahama, our vice president. I said, Mr. Vice President, I'm going to make an announcement tomorrow that next year, 2010-2011 school year, I will not open school in Accra if I have to do it under the same conditions.
Wow.
It's very appalling for our children. Our children deserve better. He said, Alfred, you have my support. With those two words from the president and the vice president, you remember you were there. I made the announcement that 2010-2011, we will not open schools in Accra until we can guarantee every child going to school without the shift system. We prayed about it, and we built the temporary structures, 406 classrooms throughout Accra. And then we opened, school 2010-2011 school year. In fact, I went to the then Minister for Education, Honorable Tetenyo, and I said, Honorable, please open school throughout the country, but give me the first week in October, and let me still continue building the temporary structures. You know what he said to me? He said, Okoe, so many people don't believe that you can end the shift system. But I, the Minister of Education, I believe in you. So he gave me the extended days, and we opened school in October 2010 without the shift system. Then we came on to say we need to modernize our schools, and we started the construction of the Millennium City Schools. And I'm so glad we built it through the length and breadth of Accra,
So did you eradicate the shift system?
Completely.
Because I have a story here, February 13, 2013.
Yes.
Shift system still exists in Accra schools, and if you permit me to read, it's on
Where?
newsghana.com. Let me just read the first paragraph.
Yes, please read it.
Today's investigations, and this is today's newspaper, have unraveled the continual existence of the shift system in public basic schools in some parts of the capital, despite the insistence of the ruling administration that it has expanded educational facilities in the country. Some public schools in Gan West District, including Mayera Primary, Odumasi Amanfro DA Primary, Salvation Army Basic in Tabora, and Abeka Motorway Primary, still practice the shift system as a means of containing the increasing number of people that are coming in.
But the areas you mentioned were not under AMA. They were not under
No, but you said the president and the vice agreed, so I thought once Accra does it, the other metros would follow suit.
That would have been ideal. That once Accra did it under my jurisdiction, I made sure that I covered my jurisdiction. So it was up to the other chief executives to also then see that it is possible to do it. If Accra has done it, we can do it in our other jurisdictions as well. But so far as AMA, Accra jurisdiction, there was no shift system anywhere.
But of course, under the free SHS, there's a bit of a shift, right? In terms of the, the gold and then...
What
are your thoughts on the free SHS? Because that expanded education in the secondary side, but infrastructure isn't a lot, so there's a challenge with numbers.
Yes.
What's your comment on that?
Yeah, but you see, I believe that is why President Mahama and the NDC continue to say that free SHS, yes, but progressively. Because free SHS or free education is the requirement from the Constitution. So any government that wants to institute that, it is a condition, it's a vis-a-vis our interest to do what is right. You see, when I said I would end the shift system, I needed infrastructure. But I wanted to do it now. So look, I built the temporary structures. I took a pool in Accra and I realized that I needed 610 classrooms. I met with all the head teachers. I listened to their needs of their schools. And we came up with the need for 410 classrooms. Okay? So then I went into construction. In 3 months, I made sure I constructed temporary structures throughout Accra. Then I said, let us open schools without the shift system. Then I said, let us modernize schools in Accra. So then we started constructing the Millennium City schools. And then we moved the children into the Millennium City schools. So that's why President John Dramani Mahama said those days that, yes, free SHS, but let us do it progressively.
Okay.
So progressively meaning that whilst we construct the infrastructure, then we are progressively moving our children.
Okay.
But because our opponents, the MPP thought, oh no, free SHS now, let's do it. We ended up in a situation where before COVID, what were we doing? We were doing the shift system. And now the children were having less days in school and less contact with their teachers in their
more
implementation.
children were in school.
Yeah, more
because
children.
there were kids who free SHS would be uneducated completely under your system. But under this government, at least they are in school. So even though they are not getting the same contact hours, somebody who couldn't pay fees now can go to school.
No, that is not true. Please. That is not true. Let me clarify it for you. Because free SHS, yes, we have more children going at one time, free. But what is the quality? Free, when we compromise quality, is not a good. We are talking about education. Education, whilst you are in it, you have to get the best. Whilst you are in it. If you are in it and you are not getting the best, and we are rolling it out like a assembly plant, and we are just pushing it out without accountability in academics, and we are not doing it with textbooks essays.
Isn't it better to be in school than to be at home because you can't pay fees?
No.
So if you have an SSS, somebody finished BUC in your constituency, he lives in Mamprobi, parents are dead, can't pay fees, so gets admission at ACCRA Academy, but can't go. Under free SHS, he can go. Even though he may have fewer contact hours, he may not have a textbook, he may be sitting home pushing a truck, but now he's in school. That's the point the government is making.
Well, but you see, we can continue to make that point. I am an educator, and I'm a parent, and I am saying that to just have my child in school and compromising so much quality. Look, my brother, if you have a child in school, you have the obligation and the responsibility to give that child whatever he or she needs to be successful. Education institutions must guarantee our success in life. But if we go into education and we are compromising just because our children are in school, it is not the right thing to do. You see, give our children opportunity into the system, but we have a responsibility as a country to make sure our children get the best. Look, in some jurisdictions in this world, if you put a child in the school under a circumstances that will spell doom for that child, you as an educator can lose your job.
Okay.
You as an educator can lose your license.
I like your passion for education.
Yes.
But let's move to something else. So you say your biggest accomplishment was the shift system. I can't argue with that. One would have thought that with the way Accra is, for a mayor, you should be talking more about the sanitation aspects. So, in fact, some people say you've been the longest serving mayor for a long time, not in terms of course, I think Nunu Amatefe spent a lot more, longer time being mayor, but in terms of a democratically appointed mayor, you spent at least 7 years as mayor. Accra still floods. As we speak, in the past few weeks, it's been raining and Accra is still flooded. Should you not take part of the responsibility for this?
You know, if I talk about education being the thing that I'm so proud of that we did, because, you know, life is very important. And if our society is ever going to be better than it is today or tomorrow, it is because of how we invest in our children. What you and I do today, tomorrow could be done better if we give our children the best, you know, education. So I love education. But look, as mayor of Accra, the flooding, the sanitation, and the issues about our environment was a key on my desk every day. I fought it every day. Look, my first week or months in office, we faced the flooding of 2009.
Yeah.
We faced it in June. I was sworn in office in May. So in June, the floods
You were sworn into the flood.
into the flood, you know. So I remember that fateful day in June when Accra flooded, and I was at Circle with the president then, Professor Mills. And in the middle of that flood, standing on the bridge, we look back, we look forward, and he asked me, Alfred, what do we need to do? Right from that fair flood, we started putting a program together. By then, because when I came into office, I was briefed by my directors about the flooding in Accra. I also knew, being an indigenous of Accra, that flooding is one of our biggest challenges. So I knew that coming into office. And when I came into office, I wanted to do something about it, and I wanted us to end the flooding. Hence, the document of the CONTI project.
So the CONTI was your major strategy to deal with flooding in Accra?
Yes, because look, I studied the situation. I met with the technical people from AMA, from Ministry of Roads and Highways. I met with the people. I met with the people who know where the water will come from, how the water flow in Accra, and we put a strategy together. I am not saying that it is all my work. I look at the work that all the previous mayors have recommended and put together. And I put it all together under one document and put the pricing to rate of 500 million that we needed to end the flooding in Accra. My brother, look, what that would have done for Accra, you see, would have ensured the continuous dredging of all the water outlets out of Accra. The Chemu Lagoon, the Kole Lagoon, and the Peshin. We were going to make sure that there will be a constant dredging of the water bodies, so that look, my brother, look, it does not have to rain in Accra for Accra to be flooded. When the rain starts from the eastern region and from the mountains, and it starts all rolling down, Accra begins to start to flood. So you have to have a major outlet for it.
So hence the dredging. But you said that you were appointed May 2009, and immediately there was a flood in June.
In June.
But you signed the CONTI project in August 2013.
Yes.
That's the Mahama term. So what was happening between 2009 to 2012 under Mills?
Yeah, we had what we call the routine maintenance. The routine maintenance was our first phase of major attendant to the flooding in Accra. In other words, you know, all the drains in Accra, every year, routine maintenance, we were dredging it. Look, in front of the Carnation Market, there is a big drain under the road. Every day we make sure that there were people under and we're draining it. From circle, along the drains of the road, you know, and then the graphic area, then coming from, you know, what do you call it, Accra Central, into the graphic road. We were dredging all that into the Korle Lagoon, you see, and then we also engaged, what do you call them, dredge masters, and they were doing continuous dredging.
Dredge masters under Zoom Lion.
Under Zoom Lion. And they were dredging that.
Whilst you were getting ready for the project itself to take
Exactly. Whilst we were putting the financing together and getting all the major stakeholders together so that we could implement a comprehensive program under Professor Mills. I mean, under John Mahama.
Took 3 years for the project to actually be signed.
Yes.
But that's serious. Why? Was it because of the size of the project?
Well, it was
How did it take? Because you said in 2009, you already started thinking about this. You spoke to us. In fact, you've shown us photos of yourself with
Professor Mills
and I think the UN lady.
Yes.
Where commitment was made to CONTI. This is 2010.
Yes.
And you are signing it in 2013.
Yes.
3 years?
Yes, because, you know, the money was to come from Exim Bank of the US. The money, the proposal had to go through Parliament. You know, and those are not small steps. These are not steps that you take easily. $500 million to come from Exim Bank. And we had to put the proposal together. I went to Washington with the finance minister several times. Minister for Finance, Dufour, was involved. And then when Setepe came, he was also involved. Then finally it went to Parliament. We passed it. And then the Exim Bank executives were coming to Accra to look at what we were doing and all that. And then finally Parliament passed it for us, giving us the
I'll take a break there. When we come back, we'll talk about the stages of the project. The CONTI project was signed in August 2013. Work started, but somehow we still have flooding in Accra. My guest is the former mayor and MP for Ablekuma South, Honorable Alfred Okoe Vanderpuije. This is The Point of View. Don't go away.
Extra data, extra minutes, and extra unlimited calls. Not just that, even our extra data doesn't expire. Simply dial *111# to bundle now.
Airtel Tigo. Life is simple.
Businesses are evolving with the changing times, and the City Business Festival is doing the same. In the month of June, the City Business Festival goes digital. City TV, in collaboration with ACCRA Bank, will give SMEs the opportunity to reboot their businesses with expert forums, discussion platforms, and interactive Zoom sessions. There will be a lesson for every business. Join the virtual business forums every Tuesday in June at 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. and gain the knowledge you need to kickstart your business. Explore new ways of engaging your customers with the e-commerce forum on Tuesday, the 9th of June at 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Get tips from the Agribusiness Forum on how to create another career in agribusiness on Tuesday, the 16th of June 2020 at 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. And get all the industry knowledge with the Trade Forum on the topic, Will Export Trade Be the Same Again? On the 23rd of June 2020 at 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Revamp your business and work environment this June with the virtual business forums only on City TV every Tuesday at 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. To be interactive and ask questions pertinent to your business, join in the forum via Zoom. To participate via Zoom, register by calling 0205-973-973. That's 0205-973-973. City Business Festival is powered by City TV and ACCRA Bank with support from the Ghana Investments and Promotion Center.
Welcome back to The Point of View. Today we're having a special edition with the former mayor of Accra, two-term mayor, Honorable Alfred Okoe Vanderpuije, aka Chenche. And we have some interesting photos in his house we'll show you later on. He's met all kinds of people. In 2015, he was nominated the best mayor in Africa, and it led to a lot of controversy. We'll talk about that too. But he said two things so far. He says his most important achievement as mayor was scrapping the shift system for schools in Accra. Very passionate about education. But we're asking why Accra still flat, because he ran the helm for 7 years. So let me read a quick story for your reaction. 12 June 2013, modern Ghana. Accra will never be the same as CONTI project commences. Story by Mohammed Sani Ibrahim. Let me read the first three paragraphs. Yes. The government of Ghana and the CONTI group of companies of the United States of America have signed a $660 million for the commencement of the much anticipated CONTI project. The project, which is a 5-year project to be conducted in 3 different stages, is expected to tackle flooding and some sanitation and environmental challenges bedeviling the city. During a forum of chiefs and assembly members organized by the AMA to announce the official commencement of the project, the mayor of Accra, Honorable Dr. Alfred Okoe Vanderpuije, reiterated his commitment to making Accra one of the best cities on the continent. And he says, Accra will never be the same as the project commences. Yes. Well, Accra is still the same. I mean, this is 2013. We're in 2020 now. Yes. So that's 7 years after.
Yes.
I argue that Accra hasn't changed.
Accra hasn't changed because there were specific objectives of the CONTI project. Mm-hmm. But we did not get to where we will implement the CONTI project. At the time when we went to Parliament and the project was approved for the funds to come in, then around that time, then the idea of Ghana going with the IMF came up. So then the IMF conditions prevented the coming in of the money for the implementation of the CONTI project. Because if the CONTI money was to come in from the technical financial issues, Ghana would have gone above the threshold financially. So CONTI project had to be put aside. So we did not get the money to do the things that would have been implemented under the CONTI project, such as we would have continuously dredged the Kole and the 3 water bodies continuously. And then we would have constructed new major drains throughout Accra, major modern drains, covered drains that would have taken water away from Accra, engineered program. We would have had new roads, improved roads, constructed in Accra. We would have also have engineered landfill site for
under
the
the project.
Under the project for Accra. We would have also had AMA would have owned its own sanitation trucks.
Wow.
And we would have distributed bins to all the households in Accra, so that with the bins we would have separated our waste, plastic and organic, all that. And then we'll have the trucks to pick our own refuse. And then we would have also constructed transfer stations in Accra, so that we would not have to have trucks running in Accra during the day through traffic. You see, so with all these activities or initiatives coming under the CONTI project, Accra would have solved its sanitation challenges, and then we also have dealt with the environmental issues, so that when it rained in Accra, the water will run through Accra without creating the flooding.
So let me understand something. A project that was conceived 2009, 3 years in preparation for signing in 2013, was actually never implemented because in the same year, Ghana opted to go for the IMF program.
Yes.
So is it CONTI that pulled out, or the government said because of the IMF program you can't take a new loan?
The arrangement between the government of Ghana and the IMF excluded the acceptance of the 500 million from the U.S. Exim Bank for the implementation of the program.
So is it that we didn't know we'd go to IMF and therefore this could be the consequence? Because you've been planning this for 3 years.
Yes.
And this was supposed to be a major project to overhaul the whole capital.
Yes.
So, I don't know how this works, but it sounds a bit, so for your 7-year tenure, this was the biggest project we could have. And yet it couldn't come on simply because of IMF?
Because it couldn't be fitted under the arrangements of the Ministry of Finance, with the IMS Pro, even though we've worked on it.
Then that would be your biggest failure, wouldn't you admit that?
Well, no, listen, I am a mayor of Accra, the capital. Ministry of Finance looks at the overall financial arrangement of the country. It was my greatest desire to see that happen. I worked with Dufour and Tepe, both on this. But when it came to the final implementation...
But Mr. Tepe, I've interviewed a few times, has always said that cities like Accra and Kumasi should be able to borrow on their own balance sheet.
Yeah, but
and that their debt should not be part of the national debt. In fact, the revenue potential for Accra, if you look at the number of properties in the Accra that you run, because this new mayor has a smaller Accra, if you look at the size of the Accra you had, you could easily have gone to a bank to get that type of loan fund the project.
That has always been my point of view, that we should let our major cities, Accra, Kumasi, Cape Coast, Tamale, Takoradi, let these cities be on their own. But you see, it will take an act of parliament for that to happen. But that is what I have always advocated for. When I was mayor, and not even today, I said, look, let Accra be on her own. Let Accra raise her own money. Give the mayor of Accra the free hand to run his or her own city. You understand? And let Accra pay for its own. But that is a reformation that we have to get to from an act of parliament. Accra, as it is today, cannot just say, I'm collecting my own revenue, I want to do my own thing. And no, it has to be a legislative.
So, Accra and the way it's managed is arguably worse than your time, because you run a bigger Accra. Now, when the mayor is speaking to about Accra, he's basically...
He has 3 constituencies.
Yeah, but what's your view about that? Is it better to have smaller spaces managed, or is it better to have a big...
No, it's not. I'm against it. I'm against it. And I'm against it in the national interest. And I speak with great passion. When Accra floods today, you blame the mayor. You shouldn't be blaming the mayor. What we have done takes authority and takes opportunity, takes resources away from the Accra mayor. So we need to stop disturbing and criticizing the Accra mayor. Meanwhile, we have created other jurisdictions around him. You understand? But we still call him Accra mayor, and then we still hold him responsible for what is going on outside his jurisdiction. And secondly, the other new jurisdictions that we have created, they do not have what it takes to take care of the new jurisdictions that we have created. You understand?
So, for example, they don't have the technical people who can work in an assembly, planning offices.
Yes.
They are small. They are too small.
They don't even have an office. They don't even have offices. So how are they going to manage?
So it's a bad idea to split.
It is a wrong idea to do that. It's very, very wrong. It's not in our national interest. They don't have control of their. Look, let me tell you. Let me give you a typical example. During my days as mayor, I have always policed the area around the Mortuary Road, coming to Kolebu, from Kolebu to Circle. And I've always told my public health director and my coordinating director that we should always support the activities of the UCGC church. ICGC, yes, in that area. Thank you. In that area, because they are working hard to always take care of the environment. And I said, as a city, we must support them, in doing so. Well, guess what? About a month ago, I was on my way to Parliament. And usually I will use the beach road. But I used that road. And guess what I saw? I saw new fences over there. And I saw cows and goats and sheep and all of that. So I called the coordinating director at AMA. And I said, oh, Miss Ama, why did you sit down to allow all these things to happen? Miss Ama, you know how we have fought hard to protect this area. Only for him to tell me, oh, Mayor, they are now not under AMA. And I said, oh yeah, they are now Okoe. They are no more under AMA.
Wow, Okoe South.
Yes. But guess what? Okoe South do not have the personal. They do not have the manpower. They do not have what they need to maintain that area. And it's happening the whole throughout Accra and its environs. Wow. You know, these new creations that we have done, have we given them money to sustain them? Have we given them the resources
so it
for
means
them to
that
work?
City management is going to get worse.
It's going to get worse, and that is what you are seeing. Right now, who is doing the routine maintenance? Tell me. Who is doing the routine maintenance? That covers all these newly created, what do you call them, assemblies. Who is doing the routine maintenance? You need the routine maintenance frequently in order to take care of the challenges around flooding. You need it. Who is doing it? Nobody is doing it. And we can't hold the Accra mayor responsible for that. No, it's not under his jurisdiction. You know?
Old Fadama is still there. I remember your time, you made efforts to convey the people to Ajen Kotoku and other places. As I speak to you, in April, there was some demolition during COVID. Do you get surprised that places like Old Fadama can never get the repair that we've envisioned?
You know, when one government is in office, and one government should do something that endures to the benefit of the people, we need to work hard to take the politics out of it. Okay? As a nation, we need to work hard to take the politics out of it. When I was mayor of Accra, because of what I knew then and what I know now about what elders of my family told me, and about what I know about Accra, and about what I know about Old Fadama, and about what I know about what I was seeing there as a mayor, I said I would take care of Old Fadama before I would leave office. If it means I have to die in taking care of Old Fadama, I was willing to do it. And I am happy today that I took care of Old Fadama before I left office. But today, I invite you to go to medical block and climb to the medical block and look at Old Fadama and see what you will see. It's appalling to our country. I wish this government had continued to protect Old Fadama as we left it.
What specifically was your Old Fadama intervention?
Everybody knows what goes on in Old Fadama. That is a no-go area. It's a no-go area. People will tell you what goes on in Old Fadama. The inhumane activities in Old Fadama. That the people have their own cemetery in Old Fadama. The crime that goes on in Old Fadama. How boys from Old Fadama will go to various places in Accra to commit crimes, armed robbery, and so many, social evils in Accra. And they will come and hide in Old Fadama. Okay? And therefore, it gave a bad image and a bad name to some of the good people who were residing in Old Fadama. Sometimes the chiefs, the northern chiefs who were there, will come to my office and say, Mayor, we don't like what is happening in Old Fadama. So I put it as one of my activities that we will eliminate the social evils that was going on in Old Fadama. And then, let me tell you, people who were residing there, not the people who were residing there, but some of our Ghana traditional leaders were selling the land to the people who needed a place to stay, who will come there, to the extent that they've sold land to them all the way into the lagoon.
The Kole?
The Kole.
They sold land into the Kole lagoon.
Into the Kole lagoon. Because, remember, the timber market and the sawdust were right there. So they will, once they get a piece of land.
So this mashy thing will be sold to somebody for building or for kiosk? Or
yes. What? And they will get the sawdust and they will come and fill the Korle lagoon.
Wow.
So they had filled the marshy areas, and they have extended it into the Korle to the extent that the Korle was almost blocked. So when it will rain, when all the water will come from the circle, when it gets to the Fadama area, it will not go through into the main Korle lagoon. You understand? So we needed to go in, take the people out of the way, dredge the Korle all over, and allow the water to flow. I still have pictures on my phone when we first opened it up, clear the people, dredge the Korle, and allow the water to run. And you know, I saw something very dramatic. I was standing there, right there, and I saw fish jumped out of the my brother. I still have the picture. The fish just popped up like that, and I said, wow. So under this condition, there is life under. And I took the picture of the water now flowing from the circle all the way through Fadama into the Korle as it was supposed to be. So when Accra is flooding today, is one of the major problems.
So the fact that people have sold land close to the Korle and the location of Old Fadama affects. So for example, can we say that June 3 and what happened can be related to what happened downstream at Old Fadama, in the sense that there's a blockage and that's why the water can't flow? Is that what happened?
There's a blockage. There's a complete blockage. People's houses were in the waterway. The sawdust activities have completely filled the Korle. The Korle was not able to act as the Korle should act. The Korle has been invaded by human existence, you know. And sometimes I fear that if Korle should really run, it will run over human lives. That is why I went in and took them out. Do you know how many bodies we found when we dredged that in? When we took
human bodies?
Human bodies. Yes.
Really?
Yes. You know?
Wow.
Human bodies.
When did you do this dredging? What year was this?
Oh, this was in 2015.
After June 3?
2015. I did that before I left office.
You are MP for Ablekuma South. In the past, that area around Kolebu, when you are going close to the sea, which I believe is in your constituency, opposite the snake place.
Yes.
It was called Lavender Hill.
Lavender Hill.
What was your approach to dealing with that problem?
Lavender Hill, under Professor Mills and John Dramani Mahama, this picture here is Lavender Hill.
This one?
This picture is Lavender Hill. That picture is Lavender Hill. You saw?
Who is the man standing next to you?
This is one of the prime ministers of Netherlands. So the company from there came to Ghana. And so we did a program at Lavender Hill. You can see this blue thing over here.
Yes.
These blue containers. So the trucks that will go to all of our houses in Accra and will pick our feces, we're dumping it straight into the
sea without treatment.
Without treatment. So the Netherlands came in and with their support, and we built these digesting systems. So when the trucks will bring the feces, we would empty it into those digesters. That is when we started the process of ending Lavender Hill. Okay? So we brought in about 12 digesters. And that was the first project under John Dramani Mahama to end and bring closure to Lavender Hill. Then after that, the Ministry of Local Government, in a contract with Zoom Lion, we constructed what do you call it?
Is there a waste processing
plant? No,
plant?
waste processing plant, where we'll now transform the waste and treat the waste, and then we will empty the water into the Korle for it to go. And that program is ongoing.
Is that the Accra sewage
Accra
improvement?
sewage, yes. So when we did that, then that is what brought closure to the dumping of the the feces directly into the ocean. You understand? So they took, one was a pilot phase and one was the building that we put
So
up.
this picture was when you were doing the pilot?
Yes, this is the pilot. When we brought the digestives.
So you can say confidently that now human waste is not directly put
should
into
not
the
be
sea.
should not be dumped into the ocean.
Interesting.
Because we built the ACCRA sewage system, and then we also did these temporary ones, which is still in operation, I believe.
We'll take another break. When we come back, we'll now talk about politics and other issues. So he's gunning for a second term as Ablekuma South. What else does he want? He's been in public office for years. We'll also look at 2020 NDC. They don't have a running mate. Would he be the one to do the job for them? Stay with us.
Imagine if you can get all the understanding on some of the difficult subjects you struggle with in school. As a student, do you feel dissatisfied with how hard it is to figure out the subject you're learning? Or as a parent or guardian, do you worry that your child is struggling to understand some of the subjects in school? Well, now you don't need to sign up for extra lessons or tutors. Simply tune in to Class Act, Mondays to Thursdays at 5:30 p.m. on City TV. Class Act is a show that seeks to enable senior high school students gain a much better understanding of what they learn in school. All you need is a TV, a chair, your notebook, and your pen. Get clarity on subjects such as maths, English, IT, and science. Class Act airs every Monday to Thursday at 5:30 p.m. on City TV on DSTV channel 363 and GoTV channel 182. Don't forget your pens, pencils, and your notebooks and tune in to Class Act only on City TV.
Welcome back to The Point of View. Today we are talking to the former mayor of Accra and MP for Ablekuma South, Chenche, Honorable Dr. Alfred Okoe Vanderpuije, walking through his achievements in education. Some of the things I consider to be failures, he disagrees, but the CONTI project would have been a major one. He says it's not his fault, it's the IMF and all those things. We are talking also now about what is happening in Ghana politics. So election is in 6 months. Your party doesn't have a running mate. Some people say you can do the job. You fit the profile. In fact, let me show you a picture. Here you are sitting with President Mahama, E.T. Minister for Works and Housing, Fritz Bafo, the man you took over from as MP. Yes. And I think behind President Mahama is Dr. Sianwe Jepong.
Yes.
What year is this?
This was, I believe it was 2014, 2013, where President Mahama launched the dredging of the Korle Lagoon, even though we haven't started the CONTI project. But President Mahama said, Okoe, the dredging is very important. If we can dredge, the water will run. So he commissioned the
So
dredging.
you took over from the man sitting behind you?
Yes.
Now, the man on your right was a former vice president.
Yes.
Is that your next position?
All I'll say about it is that President Mahama was very focused about sanitation and the environment of Accra and that of the whole country. So even though we had not gotten all the approvals for CONTI to go forward, he was always making sure that we did something to make sure that the flooding would not affect human life.
What's the difference between Mahama's leadership style and Mills's leadership style? Because you seem to be close, in my view, to Mills. Because in the 2009 to 2012, you were very powerful. And it seemed as if Mills was very close to you. What's the difference in your relationship with the two of them and their leadership styles?
I've been very close to both of them. I was very close to Mills, and when he handed over the presidency to John after his death, I've also remained very close with John. In fact, I worked very close with
Which one do you like better?
Oh, please. I thank God that I had the opportunity to serve two presidents.
How different are they?
You know, me, I'm a very open person. So I was always ready to serve them. And so I could walk in to their homes. I could walk in to whatever they were
You had
doing.
access.
Yeah,
You didn't need to go through anybody.
No. Look, the Constitution says that the chief executive answers to the president. You see, you are the president's representative in the jurisdiction.
But people like Bagman complained they couldn't get access to Muhammad during his time.
Oh, I don't know how.
You didn't have those problems.
No.
You didn't have to go through anybody.
No. Anytime I needed to see them, both of them, I will go straight.
Straight to them.
Yeah, I will respect them.
Not through their secretary. Straight to the man.
I work for the president.
Straight.
I work for the president.
Wow.
I work for the president. I am the implementer of the president's ideals and programs and vision in Accra. So why should I allow somebody to stand between me and the president?
Can you be his running mate, Muhammad? Have they come to you for that?
No. That's the flag bearer's decision, please. That it is his decision.
Okay, some of his people say I should ask you.
Huh?
Some of his people say I should ask you if you want it.
They said you should ask
Some
me.
of his people.
No, please. I respect the fact that it is John Muhammad. He's our running
But
mate.
can you do it?
He's our leader.
Can you do it?
Oh,
Are you willing? Do you have the energy? Do you have the interest to do it? Assuming they came to you?
look, I respect the fact that it's the president's decision. I mean, it's the running mates. I mean, the
candidates'
the
decision.
candidates, the flag bearer, and our leader of the NDC. That is his decision in consultation with the elders, the party elders, the council of elders. But if the president calls me and says, Okoe, I want you to be my running mate, I will respectfully say yes, and I will work for him.
You heard it first here. If the president calls me, I will respectfully say yes.
Because I've worked for him before. I've worked for him as mayor of Accra, and we have good working relationship. And if he says, Okoe, I want you to be my running mate, I will never turn him down. I will work for him.
Is this time for a Ghana to do the work?
Well, I know that if NDC would win 2020, Greater Accra will play a very significant role. Greater Accra. Because we have to win the whole of the coast.
And
And
Central rejected you very strongly in 2016.
It will take Greater Accra to win Greater Accra and influence Central.
So if the person is from Greater Accra, it will influence Accra votes?
It will greatly.
But Accra is now very cosmopolitan. Or you're talking about the coastal constituencies?
Yes, you see, you need the fisher folks. You need all the constituencies along the coast to come along. And if they will come along, as I know they will, NDC is going to win 2020.
Ladade Potopon left you, Teshin left you, Crowell left you, Tema left you. You only want Ododio, English Manfro on the coast.
And
Ablekuma, which is your place. You are there.
Yes.
You are saying that with a guy on the ticket for Mahama,
We will win all these constituencies back.
is it that simple?
It's not about what is simple. It is about what we are committed to doing. And we will do it. We've done it before. And we will do it again.
Wow.
NDC will win the whole coast. We
So
will
if he
win.
picks the wrong person, it can affect your chances.
Well, I'm praying for John Dramani Mahama. And I know several of us are all praying that he will make that decision. And if he does, and he makes the decision, we will all follow.
Some people say COVID has made his work more difficult because we can't do campaign. Rallies can't happen. And the president is getting all the limelight. So it's affecting the opposition, not just in Ghana, in every country.
Well, you know what? Yes, it's affecting, COVID is affecting the politics as we know it. But before COVID, Ghanaians have already made up their decision. Because, let me tell you, my brother, this current government, the MPP administration, came in deceiving the people. Oh yes.
Really?
My brother, I thought you knew that.
No, I didn't know
Look
that.
at all the promises they made.
Free SHS, they've done it.
Oh, please. Look, I keep telling you, the people of this country know quality when they see it. And when the government implemented free SHS, they put their children in danger. Please, they deceive them. Free SHS without quality is a failure. And I'm telling you, they failed.
But in the first, he's done 3.5 years.
Yes.
Are you telling me that he hasn't achieved enough to get re-election?
My brother, when they came, they said that, look at the economy. They said, look at the ECG, look at the power you pay, look at the water you pay, all of that. Since they came to office, how many increases
but
have we not
giving
seen?
us free power now? From March to June.
Under what?
Under COVID relief.
Under COVID, yes.
But
the people knew that they were paying him more. The trotro drivers knew they were paying him more. The taxi drivers.
But are you seriously saying life was better under Muhammad than it is in this government?
Yes, definitely.
In what way?
But Abasoka is telling us every day they can't go and import anything in. They want the Muhammad administration to come back. Go to Bokola. They want the Muhammad administration to come back. They said these people came to defeat. Last 2 weeks I was in Mokola. I was walking through Mokola to go and get a small radio so I can listen to radio. And then the people said, oh, Chenche, one time, well, 2020, Obana. Muhammad is coming back.
Really?
Muhammad is coming back strong and better.
Finally, the new AMA head office. You didn't say that was your legacy, but it's a beautiful place.
Yeah.
Who put it up? Was it you or it was that before you came?
My brother, look, the reason why I didn't mention all of these things, because all of these things will pass away. You know what will live with us? It's our children. What we invested into our children and what we did for our children. The buildings, the bridges, the roads, all will fade away. It's our children who will live with us forever and ever. And whatever we do for our children and for our human nature and our brothers and sisters is what will last.
Wow.
That is why I always go back to that. The roads, the buildings, the cars, all of us will fade away. It's how I treat you and I, and how I make your life better, how I make the children's life better. That is what will take us to eternity.
The Millennium Mayor.
Yes.
We were speaking to the Honorable Alfred, Dr. Okoe Vanderpuije, the former mayor of Accra and MP for Ablekuma South. Very clearly, he has a lot to say, and who knows, he may be Mohammed's number 2.
Oh.
Good luck in that race. My name is Vanderpuije. Thank you for watching The Point of View. We'll be with you again soon. Bye-bye.
Point of View is powered by Airtel Tigo Extra. Even our bonus data doesn't expire. You the film? Dial *111# to activate now. Airtel Tigo. Life is simple.
Businesses are evolving with the changing times, and the City Business Festival is doing the same. In the month of June, the City Business Festival goes digital. City TV, in collaboration with ACCRA Bank, will give SMEs the opportunity to reboot their businesses with expert forums, discussion platforms, and interactive Zoom sessions. There will be a lesson for every business. Join the virtual business forums every Tuesday in June at 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. and gain the knowledge you need to kickstart your business. Explore new ways of engaging your customers with the e-commerce forum on Tuesday, the 9th of June at 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Get tips from the Agribusiness Forum on how to create another career in agribusiness on Tuesday, the 16th of June 2020 at 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. And get all the industry knowledge with the Trade Forum on the topic, Will Export Trade Be the Same Again? On the 23rd of June 2020 at 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Revamp your business and work environment this June with the virtual business forums only on City TV every Tuesday at 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. To be interactive and ask questions pertinent to your business, join in the forum via Zoom. To participate via Zoom, register by calling 0205-973-973. That's 0205-973-973. City Business Festival is powered by City TV and ACCRA Bank with support from the Ghana Investment and Promotion Center.
We're about to change your Sunday night for the better.
Prophecy is not for useless things and loose, frivolous things. Prophecy is for weightier matters.
We will bring you the most captivating guests and explore the most amazing stories.
And I was going to be an actor.
Oh.
Wow.
Oh yeah, I had an audition at NAFTI once.
When was this?
No, many years ago when I was in ATTC.
Did you get the role?
I didn't, you know. I didn't.
Right.
Yeah.
We will dazzle you with real life situations and examine mind blowing topics.
Illustrating a message or signifying a message makes people